Hello everyone, welcome to StudyBus, your one-stop channel for mastering verbal section of your MBA entrance examinations. I am Nikita and I'm thrilled to kick off this series with you. But before we start with the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us on Instagram. The handles are on your screen. Press that bell icon to receive important video updates as well. Let's talk about strengthening and weakening the arguments today. These are very common kind of question and you will find these questions in almost all of the examinations including CAT where such questions are a part of reading comprehension section. Okay, so let's dive into it. So let's talk about how strengthening or weakening an argument works, right? How do you strengthen or weaken an argument? So essentially in such questions they ask you to find information that will either strengthen or weaken based on what the question is asking for. What will it strengthen or weaken? It will strengthen or weaken the conclusion of the given argument, right? So the conclusion, when it is added with the given information, the options, the statements which are given to you, and it becomes either more likely to be true or less likely to be true according to the question asks, uh, is what the answer that you're looking for, right? The conclusion of an argument becoming more or less likely to be true based on the evidence that is provided, okay, based on the part of the argument itself. A strengthener or weakener will not necessarily prove or disprove an argument, right, beyond a shadow of doubt. It is not going to do that. It will simply just increase or decrease the likelihood of that conclusion uh, that follows from its support, right? So when we talk about the strengthening of an argument specifically, for the strengthening, if the questions you look for, they are going to be in the sense that which of the following, if true, most strongly supports the argument above, or if true, most strengthens the reasoning, right? So essentially the strengtheners, they could be of two kinds. One, they provide additional information, they provide additional or more information which makes the reasoning even more better, right? So when we talk about arguments, what are arguments? Arguments are nothing but assertion plus reason, right? They are provided to uh, reach a particular conclusion. The author wants others to have the same thoughts as the author, or to accept author's thoughts, essentially to accept author's assertion, and for that reason he is providing you with the reasons for that, as to why his assertion is correct, why you should accept it. Now when we look for strengthening or weakening, in that case, if the author asks you which one, if the question asks you which one, if true, is going to strengthen the argument, so that can only be done in two cases or in two different ways. One, it will provide more information and which will add to the reason that is provided, making it more likely to be true. Another, it will provide support to existing reason. Essentially just simply explain or build a link between the conclusion or the the reason which is already provided to you. So essentially just simply using the words or the information which you already have and then building upon it to make the conclusion more likely or less likely. For the weakening part, it is a little easier. For the weakening, essentially what will happen is they will simply cast a doubt on the reason or undermine the reason, take away the support, essentially, right? Take away the support. These are fairly common kind of questions and you will have them in almost all the examinations that you look for. So let's talk about the questions. This is a question from CAT 1999, a very old one, but still a very nice one. So here we have this little para which says three airlines IA, JA and SA operate on Delhi Mumbai route. To increase the number of seats sold, SA reduced its fares. IA and JA emulated this immediately. The general belief was that the volume of air travel between Delhi and Mumbai would increase as a result. Now, which of the following, if true, would add credence to the general belief? Credence as in would support it, would strengthen it, right? So, what is the general belief here? It is stated in the conclusion that volume of air travel will increase if the airfare drops, right? That is the general belief. Underlying assumption is what? That the travelers decide whether or not to fly based on the cost that they are expected to pay. Right? Now, if we look at the options, this one, a study shows that air travelers of India are price conscious or price sensitive. In this case, this directly links to the information which is provided, isn't it? It supports the general belief that they decide whether to travel or not based on the price that they are expected to pay. So they are price sensitive. This one provides the reason as to why this particular thing might happen, why the volume of air travel will increase based on drop prices. So this one supports it, hence it strengthens it. On the contrary, if we look at this, a study shows that as much as 80% of the air travel in India is company sponsored, which means that the travelers are not paying for it themselves. If they are not paying for it themselves, then simply lowering the airfare is not going to result in anything, right? It is not going to result in more uh, increased travelers, right? So it weakens, it goes against the general belief. It weakens that they are not going to work. The scheme of the airline is not going to work, right? So for this question, the answer becomes option C. And this one, if the question was that which one undermines the general belief, then this would have been the one that we could have looked at. Moving on, we have another question here. It says, in India, the funding of space and agriculture research programs by the major industrial houses remained steady during 1980 and 1990. These were the years when Indian economy was going through a very lean patch, so it would be wrong to say that total funding of scientific research program is in direct proportion with growth rate of economy. It would be wrong to say. Okay, which of the following, if true for India, would most weaken the given argument? Now here the question is, the total funding in scientific research, is it proportional to the growth of industry? Author does not really think so, right? It gives evidence to support this view as well. So based on this we are supposed to look for the weak now. So if we look at option 1, it says government funds which constituted a significant portion of the support for scientific research from 80s to 90s fell annually and substantially during that period, right? So this one goes directly against the belief of author, right, that it would be wrong to say that they were in direct proportion of the growth rate of economy. So it goes directly against it, it weakens it, cause it says that spending, the total spending, it declined as government funding declined in that period, right? So this one and this one, they are directly opposite of each other in sense, hence this shall be the weakener that we are looking for. I hope this is clear to you. That was all for today. Hope it was helpful. All the best.